नमस्ते, टिम विन्टनको कथा नेबर्स पढ्नुभयो, तर एक्जाममा आन्सर कसरी लेख्ने भनेर अलि कन्फ्युज हुनुहुन्छ? चिन्ता नलिनुहोस्, आज हामी एक्ज्याक्टली यही कुरामा फोकस गर्नेछौँ। कसरी आन्सर लेख्दा मार्क्स राम्रो आउँछ? आउनुहोस्, सँगै हेरौँ। धेरैजनाको कमन प्रब्लम नै यही हो होइन? स्टोरी त मजाले बुझ्यो, तर जाँचमा सोधेको प्रश्नको उत्तरलाई कसरी मिलाएर लेख्ने, मार्क्स कसरी तान्ने? हो, आजको यो हाम्रो छलफलले यही कुरालाई एकदमै सजिलो बनाइदिन्छ।
ल, त्यसो भए सुरु गरिहालौँ है। आज हामी यी 4वटा स्टेप्स फलो गर्दै एन्सर लेख्ने तरिका सिक्नेछौँ। फर्स्ट, कथालाई सरर हेर्छौँ अनि फ्याक्चुअल र एनालिटिकल एन्सर्स कसरी बनाउने भनेर सिक्छौँ र लास्टमा हाई मार्क्स ल्याउने की स्ट्र्याटेजी के हो त्यो पनि हेर्नेछौँ।
ल, सेक्सन 1, स्टोरी एट अ ग्लान्स। क्वेसन एन्सरमा जानु अघि कथाको मेन पोइन्ट्सहरूलाई एकपटक फटाफट याद गरौँ है, ताकि सबैको दिमागमा स्टोरी फ्रेस होस्।
कथामा त्यो यङ कपलको जर्नी एकदमै इन्ट्रेस्टिङ छ होइन? सुरुमा उनीहरू एकदमै एक्लो, अलि डराए जस्तो थिए, तर बिस्तारै अटम, स्प्रिङ हुँदै उनीहरू त्यो कम्युनिटीको एउटा इम्पोर्टेन्ट पार्ट बन्न पुग्छन् र कथाको अन्त्यमा त उनीहरूको बच्चाको जन्म हुन्छ। यो हरेक सिजन उनीहरूको ट्रान्सफर्मेसनको एउटा खुड्किलो जस्तै हो।
र यो गार्डन यो नै उनीहरू र छिमेकीहरू बीचको पुल बन्यो होइन त? हो, यही बगैँचामा सल्लाह साटासाट गर्दा गर्दै उनीहरू बीचको त्यो पर्खाल बिस्तारै भत्किन थाल्यो। यहीबाट त हो नि रियल कनेक्सनको सुरुवात भएको।
ओके, अब लागौँ हाम्रो पहिलो टाइपको क्वेसनतिर, फ्याक्चुअल एन्सर्स। यस्ता प्रश्नहरूले कथाको फ्याक्ट्स कतिको बुझिएको छ भनेर जाँच्छन्। सिधा टेक्स्टमा के भनिएको छ त्यही सोध्छन्, जस्तै वाट भयो, हाउ भयो। एउटा इक्जाम्पल हेरौँ। How did the neighbors respond to the woman's pregnancy? अब यो प्रश्नको उत्तर दिनको लागि हामीले स्टोरीबाट स्पेसिफिक इक्जाम्पल्सहरू ठ्याक्कै के भयो भनेर सबै जम्मा पार्नुपर्छ। र प्रमाणहरू यहाँ छन्, हेर्नुहोस् त। People smiled tirelessly. Italian women began to offer names. The woman next door had knitted the baby a suit. यी सबै डाइरेक्ट कोट्सहरू हाम्रो एन्सरको लागि र मटेरियल हुन्। यिनैलाई प्रयोग गर्ने हो।
अब ती सबै प्रमाणलाई एउटा स्ट्रक्चरमा ढाल्नु पर्यो। यो मोडल आन्सर हेरौँ त। पहिलो लाइन, द एन्टायर नेबरहुड रेस्पोन्डेड विथ वार्मथ एन्ड जेनरोसिटी। यो टपिक सेन्टेन्स भयो। यसले एन्सरको मेन आइडिया दियो। त्यसपछि बुलेट पोइन्ट्समा स्पेसिफिक इक्जाम्पल्सहरू। डेली ओनरले गिफ्ट्स दिएको, इटालियन र ग्रिक महिलाहरूले नाम सुझाएको, म्यासेडोनियन छिमेकीले बेबी सुट बुनिदिएको। यस्तो स्ट्रक्चरले एन्सर एकदमै क्लियर र स्ट्रङ देखिन्छ।
ल, अब अलिक गहिरो एनालिसिस गर्ने प्रश्नहरूतिर जाउँ। बिल्डिङ एनालिटिकल एन्सर्स। यस्ता प्रश्नहरूमा किन वा वाइ सोधिन्छ। यहाँ फ्याक्ट मात्रै भनेर पुग्दैन, त्यसको डिपर मिनिङ के हो त्यो पनि केलाउनुपर्छ। जस्तै यो प्रश्न, Why do you think the author did not characterize the persons in the story with proper names? यहाँ लेखकले के गरे भनेर सोधेको होइन, किन गरे भनेर सोधेको छ। अथरको इन्टेन्सन के होला त? यो स्लाइडले एकदमै क्लियर पार्छ। यदि अथरले जन वा मारिया जस्ता नाम प्रयोग गरेको भए कथा उनीहरू दुईजनाको मात्रै हुन्थ्यो। तर द यङ कपल जस्तो टाइटल प्रयोग गर्दा कथा युनिभर्सल भयो। यो कुनै पनि यङ कपलको कथा हुन सक्छ, कहीँ पनि। यसले शेयर्ड ह्युमन एक्सपिरियन्सलाई हाइलाइट गर्छ। अब यो अलि कम्प्लेक्स क्वेसन हेरौँ। रेफरेन्स टु द कन्टेक्स्टबाट, द स्टोरी एन्ड्स, द 20th century novel had not prepared him for this. What does this mean? यसको अर्थ बुझ्नलाई हामीले उसको बुकिश नलेज र रियल लाइफ एक्सपिरियन्स बीचको कन्ट्रास्टलाई समात्नुपर्छ। कथाको यो अन्तिम लाइनहरूले नै सबै कुरा भन्छ। ऊ पछाडिको ढोकामा जाँदा म्यासेडोनियन छिमेकीहरूको अनुहारमा खुसी देखेर ऊ रुन थाल्छ। हो, यही मोमेन्टको लागि द 20th century novel had not prepared him for this भनिएको हो। उसको इन्टेलेक्चुअल वर्ल्ड र यो र इमोसनल रियालिटी बीचको क्ल्यास हो यो। यसको एनालिसिस गरौँ है। 20th century नोभल्सहरू कस्ता हुन्छन्? प्राय इन्टेलेक्चुअल, इन्डिभिजुअल एलिएनेसनको कुरा गर्ने। तर बच्चाको जन्म, त्यो त एकदमै र इमोसनल र कम्युनल एक्सपिरियन्स हो। उसको एकाडेमिक स्टडी एब्स्ट्र्याक्ट थियो, तर यो बर्थको मोमेन्ट त रियल थियो, जसले उसलाई छिमेकीहरूसँग जोड्यो। कन्क्लुजन के हो भने जीवनका सबैभन्दा प्रोफाउन्ड मोमेन्ट्स किताबले होइन, अनुभवले सिकाउँछ। ओके, अहिलेसम्म हामीले जे सिक्यौँ त्यसलाई समेटेर एउटा सिम्पल स्ट्र्याटेजी बनाऊ। यो स्ट्र्याटेजी कुनै पनि क्वेसनको लागि काम लाग्छ। त हाई मार्क्स ल्याउने कि यही 4वटा स्टेप्समा छ। स्टेप 1,
Deconstruct the question. प्रश्नले साँच्चै के सोधेको हो, keywords पत्ता लगाउनुहोस्. Step 2, locate the evidence. टेक्स्टबाट specific codes वा इभेन्ट्सहरू खोज्नुहोस्. Step 3, structure your points. एउटा clear topic sentenceबाट सुरु गरेर evidence दिनुहोस्. And step 4, write and review. सफासँग लेखेर एकपटक चेक गर्नुहोस्. यो प्रोसेस फलो गर्नुभयो भने एन्सर आफैमा स्ट्रङ बन्छ.
सो आज हामी तपाईको ग्रेड 12 इङ्ग्लिश सिलेबसको एउटा एकदमै ब्युटिफुल स्टोरी टिम विन्टनको नेबर्सको बारेमा कुरा गर्दैछौँ. एन्ड अनेस्टली यो कथा एक्जामको लागि मात्र इम्पोर्टेन्ट छैन है. इट्स रियली अबाउट ह्युमन रिलेसनसिप्स कति ब्युटिफुल एन्ड समटाइम्स कति कम्प्लिकेटेड हुन सक्छन् भनेर बुझ्ने बारेमा हो. सो लेट्स जस्ट डाइभ राइट इन. कथाको स्टार्टमा नै द यङ कपलको फिलिङ कस्तो छ भन्ने कुरा आउँछ. उनीहरू नयाँ घरमा त सरे राइट, तर उनीहरूलाई कस्तो फिल भइरहेछ त? वेल, यो कोटले एकदमै राम्ररी भन्छ. It made the newlyweds feel like sojourners in a foreign land. अब यो वर्ड sojourners यो एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ. यसको मतलब हो temporary traveler or अस्थायी यात्री. So just imagine, उनीहरू आफ्नै नयाँ घरमा छन्, but they feel like they're just visiting a foreign country for a short time. हो, यही आउटसाइडरको फिलिङबाट नै उनीहरूको स्टोरी सुरु हुन्छ. Okay, so here's our plan for today. हामी यो कथाको जर्नीलाई 6वटा पार्ट्समा ब्रेकडाउन गर्नेछौँ. We'll go from their initial awkward phase all the way to a beautiful celebration of community. Yo roadmapले हामीलाई स्टोरीको हरेक twist and turn बुझ्न help गर्छ. Alright, first section, नयाँ छिमेक, नयाँ सुरुवात. So the young couple उनीहरू एउटा यस्तो ठाउँमा मुभ भएका छन् जुन उनीहरूले लाइफमा कहिले एक्सपिरियन्स गरेका थिएनन्. Think about it. एकातिर एउटा Macedonian family छ and on the other side एकजना Polish widower. It's a completely unfamiliar world. And look at this. यो स्लाइडले एक perfect contrast देखाउँछ. एक तरफ you have the young couple. उनीहरू quiet suburbsबाट आएका, जहाँ good neighbors भनेको, well, seldom seen and never heard, हैन त? एकदमै शान्त, अलि wary. But then, on the other side, you have the neighbors, European migrants जो एकदमै loud छन्. They shout, they rant, they scream. उनीहरूको normal conversation पनि the coupleलाई झगडा जस्तै लाग्छ. So you can imagine यो उनीहरूको लागि कति ठुलो cultural shock थियो. अनि त्यसले हामीलाई section 2 मा ल्याउँछ. अविश्वासको पर्खाल, the wall of mistrust. So for the first few months, it's all about misunderstandings and silent judgments. दुवै पक्ष एक अर्कालाई एकदमै शङ्काको नजरले हेरिरहेका छन्. It's like an invisible wall, you know? So यो दूरी बढ्नुको reason के थियो त? Well, it was all these small things. The couple in Macedonian family को loud conversation लाई झगडा नै सोच्छन्. The Polish widower को non-stop hammering ले उनीहरूलाई irritate गर्छ. अनि अर्कोतर्फ छिमेकीहरूले the young man लाई दिनभरि घरमा बसेर thesis लेखेको देख्दा they find it really strange. He even gets disgusted when he sees the neighbor's boy urinating in the street. So you see, यस्तै साना-साना cultural differences ले नै the wall of mistrust बनाइरहेको थियो. Okay, but then a shift happens. And that brings us to section 3, Sambandhako Ankuran. This is where the story takes a beautiful turn. Those silent observation or suspicion, vistare real interaction ma change in Atalsa. And it's amazing how this happens. It shows how connection can grow beyond language and culture. So first, step 1, the garden. Neighbors just lean over the fence to give advice. Simple. Step 2, the garlic. The young woman touches the neighbor's child's head, and the Macedonian woman gives her a bag of garlic. And then, the biggest one, step 3, the henhouse. Uniharuko henhouse vatkinsa, and the Polish widower, uninvited and without a single shared word, just comes and rebuilds it for them. These were the moments, these nonverbal actions that planted the first seeds of their relationship. And now we move to section 4, Euta Sajha Jivan. Bit by bit, the couple is starting to fit in. They're becoming part of the community's rhythm. Univeru aba simple outsiders hoinan, they're becoming participants. And this moment here, this is so important. They join their neighbors in slaughtering ducks. And in the middle of all that noise and steam and the fractured dialogue, the story says they felt intoxicated. Now, this doesn't mean they were drunk. It's more like they were completely absorbed by the experience. Nashema parejasto. It was messy, it was loud, but it was shared. And for the first time, they really truly felt like a part of the community. They weren't just watching anymore. And you can see how this experience changed them. After this, they no longer walked with their eyes lowered. In fact, when their parents visited, they felt proud. Proud of their new home, their neighbors, their life. They had truly started to own it.
Okay, section 5. Naya Jivan Ka Utsav. This is really the climax of the story. The young couple has an unplanned pregnancy, and the way the entire neighborhood reacts is just incredible. You could say it's a baby that belongs to the whole community, because that baby really stops being just theirs. Now, this brings us to a really important question from your textbook. Question E. How did the neighbors respond to the woman's pregnancy? Let's look at exactly how they responded. Well, the response was total involvement. The whole neighborhood just lit up with this news. People smiled at them constantly. The deli man gave them gifts, chocolates, cigarettes. You had Italian women offering baby names, Greek women feeling her belly and predicting it would be a boy, and their Macedonian neighbor even knitted a whole baby suit. It was an absolute outpouring of love. But for the young woman, her feelings were a bit more complicated. The story says she felt flattered, claustrophobic, grateful, peeved. And that's so real, right? Think about it. She was flattered by the attention, but at the same time felt claustrophobic, like she was suffocating from it. She was grateful for the support, but also a little peeved or annoyed. It's this messy, realistic mix of emotions that makes the story so powerful. And then it happens. Labor came abruptly. All of a sudden, it's time. The young man, who was so focused on his thesis about 20th century novels, has to drop everything and run for the phone. This is it. Real life is happening, right now. And this description of the birth, it's incredibly powerful. The floor trembled as the young woman bore down in a squat. From the husband's perspective, he's just watching his wife's raw strength. And in that moment, you have to believe that all his book knowledge, everything from his thesis, just felt completely meaningless. He's witnessing something far more real. Then he goes outside to get firewood, and what does he see? 12 faces right there at the fence, waving, calling out best wishes. It's his neighbors. They're all there, with him, with them, in this moment. It proves it, That baby was theirs too, and the community was there to support them. And then, after the baby arrives, he hears cheering from outside, and the story ends with this line. The young man began to weep. He starts crying, and you realize those tears aren't just for the baby. They're tears of gratitude, of overwhelming emotion, for the incredible shared connection he finally has with these people, his neighbors. And that brings us to our final section, Kathako Sar, the story's essence. So what is the big takeaway here? What does that very last part of the story about the novels really mean? Here's the last big question from your textbook we need to tackle. It's reference to the context B. What differences did the young man find between 20th century novels and human relations? So, what was the big difference he found between books and real human connection? And here it is, the answer and the entire essence of the story. At the end of it all, the young man realizes something profound. Novels, they teach you theory. They teach you about ideas. But real life gives you the actual, deep experience of emotion and connection. The things you learn from shared laughter, shared tears, and shared joy, well, that's something so much deeper and more meaningful than anything you can learn from a book. And that, I think, is the most powerful message of Neighbours.